Hi, and welcome to CityBeat inside Palo Alto. I'm your host, P.A. Moore. Today's show covers everything from A to Z. The A stands for the Pacific Art League, a wonderful institution that's been with us for 80 years. The Z is our zoning ordinance update, which is very important to Palo Alto's future. In between, we'll meet our old friends, the History Corner, the Trash Busters, and the Pet Connection. Stay with us. The Pacific Art League is a well-respected institution here in the city of Palo Alto. And with me is Claudia Morgan. Claudia, tell me something about the institution itself.
Well, the Pacific Art League is an 80-year-old organization. We were actually founded originally as the Palo Alto Art Club in the 20s. And we've always been in Palo Alto, but not always at this location. And probably the main thing we do is we offer art classes in a variety of the classical fine arts, drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpture, for artists of all levels. We also offer exhibition opportunities and community in general for artists and actually anyone who's interested in art.
That sense of the artistic community is really important for growth and development. So the classes and the shows. Tell me about the shows.
Well, we have several types of exhibition opportunities for our members. And I should say we're a membership organization, but anyone takes our classes. The exhibition opportunities require you to be a member, which is a pretty simple process. We have galleries within the Art League where our members show their work, and shows that change once a month, and they have themes, but they're usually multiple media. We also have a couple of opportunities outside the Art League for our members to show their work in the community, our rental program and our community sites program.
And we're in such a lovely old building. Tell me about the building itself.
Well, we love this building. This building was purchased by the Art League in the 1960s, and it's just a perfect kind of funky building for having art classes and galleries, and we love it here. It's a fabulous location, downtown Palo Alto. It's just a beautiful sunny site. Unfortunately, through the years, not enough maintenance has been done on it. It requires earthquake retrofitting, and it also requires some renovation to make it compliant with the Americans for Disabilities Act. So we have some work to do on the building, and we have some money to raise, which we are in the planning stages for right now.
So if I wanted to take classes or wanted more information, drop in and see a show, how would I get more information?
All you'd have to do is either come by if you're in the neighborhood, or give us a call at 650-321-3891. We can send you a class schedule. We can talk to you about our classes on the phone, and you'd be more than welcome.
And you know, I could even download your brochure from the website, because I did that once.
Yes, you can not only download a brochure, you can download a registration form. We're not quite ready to take registrations online yet, but we hope to get that going soon.
Well, thank you so much, Claudia. The Lucy Stern Center is a well-known landmark here at the city of Palo Alto. Steve Steiger is going to tell us something about the building itself and about Lucy Stern. Steve, let's start with the building. When was it built, and how did it all come about?
Well, it was built in several phases during the 1930s. First, Lucy Stern, who was the benefactor of the site, and her architect, Burge Clark, came and had the community theater built. Later, the wing where the ballroom and the recreation department operate out of was built, and finally the wing that has the children's theater and the Boy Scout facility was built.
I understand there was some impetus that came out of the Hostess House, and that's the reason why Lucy Stern Center was built.
Right. The original Hostess House was the World War I Camp Fremont YAWCA Hostess House. When it was moved to Palo Alto after World War I, it became the Recreation Center and Community Center, but it was located right along the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks. And when they had theatrical productions, quite often in the middle of the second act, the night train from San Francisco to Los Angeles would roll through and disrupt the production of the play. Mrs. Lucy Stern especially was annoyed by this, and that was one of the reasons why she decided to fund this theater out here further away from the tracks.
Now tell me, if this was built in the 30s, that was the time of the Depression, so was there some other aspect of this involved?
Right. Well, Lucy Stern was the widow of one of the Stern brothers, who were the inheritors of the Levi Strauss fortune from San Francisco. She was encouraged by her doctor, Russell Lee, to move to Palo Alto in the 30s. She had engaged Burge Clark, the architect, to design 3 homes along Cowper Street for her. When those homes were nearing completion, she realized that the workers were going to be out of work and desired to find some additional employment for them. And that was one of the reasons why she went ahead with the idea for this facility here.
So not only a real patron of the arts, but just helping the working person himself, too.
Oh, yeah, she really was very concerned about the individual, the workers, the plasterers, and the carpenters, and so forth. She had a French chef on staff, and quite often he was encouraged to round up a good meal for these people. Burge Clark tells stories about visiting her at the lunch hour and being fed quite well, so much so that when he went home, he had lost his appetite.
And people could find out more about Lucy Stern through the Palo Alto Historical Society, I'm sure.
Right. Well, one thing, we do have a small booklet, a biography of her that is available either for purchase or we can lend you see copies of it.
Thank you so much, Steve. We are so fortunate here in Palo Alto to have such a variety of open space. Lester Hodgkins is going to tell us something about that space. Lester, how much space do we have?
We are very fortunate in Palo Alto. We have 4,000 acres of open space in 3 nature preserves.
Tell me specifically about Foothill.
Yeah, Foothills Park is open to Palo Alto residents and their company guests only, but there's no longer a fee, so the park is free. We're open year-round, 365 days a year, from sunrise to sunset. Beautiful chance to visit the park.
And fall, especially, I think, must be very nice in terms of nature. What would I see if I went to Foothills in the fall?
Yes, right now tarantulas have just started to migrate, so it's a good time to take in the tarantulas. Also the deer. It's getting to be mating season, so you're apt to see large bucks and their antlers out in the meadows of Foothills Park.
And let's switch now to Baylands. Is this a time for bird migrations?
It is. We're approaching the winter migratory time. Great opportunities for high tides out at the Baylands this coming winter. So great opportunities, and visitation is really starting to drop off. So it's a great opportunity for peace and solitude.
And so let's say I wanted to go hiking. I must have miles of trails to choose from.
Yes, we do. We probably have close to about 20 miles of trails all total within the preserves. There's 15 miles in Foothills Park, about 10 at Arastadero, and about 8 or so at the Baylands.
So what's your message to Palo Alto to enjoy all of this?
We really do have peace and tranquility right in our own backyard. It's Palo Alto's backyard, just a few minutes from downtown. So it's a great opportunity to visit when it's nice and quiet.
Hi, I'm Annie Joseph, and I'm with the City of Palo Alto, and I'm the Bug Buster Workshop Coordinator. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important matter, pesticides in our creeks, and it's so important. There's 2 in particular that are contaminating the creeks, diazinon and dursban, and guess what? They're coming from your property into our creeks, and they're killing off the beneficial food source for the salmon, and they're damaging the food web. One of the pests that we find these products are used on most is ants. Now, I'm going to be talking about the less toxic way to manage ants in your home. First of all, if ants are getting into your home, try to locate the area. Use some caulking. Seal the holes. Perhaps move the food, like the sugary things, into containers or even into the refrigerator to keep it from attracting the ants. Clean the counters with soap and water. Very easy to do. If you see the scout, smash it, because the scout is the one who sends the message back to the nestmates to come and get it. So you kill the scout, you wipe the counter clean with soap and water, wiping off that scent trail. Now let's say you still get ants coming in. Your temptation is to spray. Don't spray, because when you spray, you're just getting 1% of the population. So how would I control the ants? We have wonderful things here. We have 2 particularly types of baits. One that's a sweet-based bait for the ants, and the others are protein-based. Ants change their preference for food daily, so I would suggest buying several of them: the taro, the sweet bait, the combat baits, and the Grant Steaks, the protein bait. The ants take this bait back to their nestmates. It's a slow-acting stomach poison, and they share it with the nestmates, and it knocks the population down. You may see a large influx of ants coming in at first towards the baits. That's fine. That's what you want. And then in about a week, the population will dissipate. When you're down to 2 or 3 ants, pick up the bait stations, put them in a Ziploc bag, and wait until you have an ant problem the next time. Thank you so much for listening to this important message, and please make sure to check out for our next Bug Buster workshop.
Mary Beth Train is a librarian, and she's going to demonstrate for us the concept of the Q&A Cafe. Mary Beth, tell me, how did the Q&A Cafe get started?
Well, we librarians realized that fewer and fewer people were coming to the reference desk or asking us questions on the phone because they were finding out their information on the internet. So the Q&A Cafe is a way to go out to where you are on your desktop and help you find the information you need. So also, people who do look on the internet, I think you've probably had the experience of looking for hours and hours to find something and then figuring you might need a bit of help. Well, there's help online now with the Q&A Cafe. We've been here for about over a year. Started for the 14-county Greater Bay Area in July of last year. So we cover all of the San Francisco Bay Area, the Monterey Bay Area, the North County Bay Area.
And I know that we've set up a situation here where we've asked a question of a librarian. So what's the question you've asked, and where are we on the screen?
Okay, well, I have been reading a lot in the paper about Elvis Presley lately, and I can't remember the details of his life, and I can't remember much about the song Blue Suede Shoes. So I asked the librarian if he could give me some information about Blue Suede Shoes and maybe something about Elvis Presley's life. And I filled out a form with my name and my email because I can get a transcript of all of this that happened along with the websites and any articles that the librarian would send me. I put in my phone so the librarian could call me up if the librarian really got stumped. And then I hit a send button, and that sends it off to the librarian. And the librarian has come back to say, so you're looking for information about Elvis Presley's life, including when the single Blue Suede Shoes was released. Is this exactly what you want? And we usually try to pin down the question, so why don't I just say yes?
Okay, and now you're going to click send, and that goes back to the librarian. And this librarian is online now the same time that you are.
That's right. We are in real time.
Okay, so now we'll wait for Anthony to come back with an answer to that particular question. Tell me, while we're waiting, about how many people does this whole system serve?
Well, we cover an area of 7.8 million people in the 14 counties. And anybody who lives and works in those 14 counties is eligible to use the Q&A Cafe. And right now our hours are 2 to 9. Every day of the week, but starting in October 1st, we're going to go 24/7 through a collaborative arrangement with Southern California.
And you were telling me earlier that there are some other options like the health library and the law library. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yes, if you go to our homepage, and maybe I can show you that later, but after Anthony helps us out here. We have links to the health library at the Stanford Shopping Center, and the librarians there come on Tuesdays and Wednesdays 2 to 4:30 every day, every week, and we are expanding that with the help of San Jose State starting probably in a week or two, so we'll be available every afternoon. And after October 1st, our librarians will be able to contact other medical librarians to come on anytime during the weekdays. Now, Anthony's talked me back, and he says that he is going to look at the Biography Resource Center database for some information on Elvis Presley. And he also has checked to see if the Palo Alto City Library has this resource, since we're in Palo Alto. And we try to redirect people to their home libraries because many people don't realize that the library has a webpage with a lot of resources. So he has sent me, this is a site. I could click on any one of these links to get them going. And I can say, I'll tell him that I saw the page. Okay, this looks like their home page, doesn't it? Okay, I'll send them another little message here. I have to think for a minute. You get to be pretty good at typing.
So the basic message here is, if I'm sitting at home with my computer and I need a quick question answered, I summon up the Q&A cafe just like any other resident can do that.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Mary Beth.
Well, thank you. Appreciate this opportunity to tell people about the Q&A Cafe, and I hope they log on at www.qnacafe.com.
Great. The zoning ordinance update is a very important part of Palo Alto's future. With me is Steve Emsley, the director of the planning department, to tell us something about what's going on. Steve, I understand there are 3 different areas you're looking at: the industrial manufacturing area, the urban design aspect, and then second units. So let's take second units first. Where are we on that?
Second units are an important issue revolving around a lot of community concern and input. The planning department has organized one community forum where we took a lot of different viewpoints from the community to help us craft a recommendation to the Planning Commission and ultimately to the City Council as to how and what type and where we would like to allow second units, if at all. It's something that we are considering with a lot of community input.
And the whole concept of urban design, that's a very future-looking aspect of this zoning ordinance update, isn't it?
Yes, it is. In fact, we're being a little bit cutting edge in using what many cities have found to be very successful in using a zoning ordinance to create the kind of results that the community desires. It's called a form code. Essentially what it does is it expands upon traditional zoning tools, which are setbacks and building heights, and actually creates a 3-dimensional expectation for what buildings are to look like. It creates a better urban and pedestrian-friendly environment, one that's more aesthetically pleasing. Cities such as Portland have made great progress in using this type of code, and it's something that we feel will have a great deal of benefit to the city of Palo Alto.
And I understand also, in addition to these other 2 things, there's been a lot of discussion about the industrial and manufacturing segment of the Palo Alto urbanscape. And what's going on there?
That's correct. What we had decided back in March when we last presented to the City Council, that we were going to start breaking down our land uses into specific groups. And the first group that we decided to tackle was the industrial group. This enables us to focus on issues, prepare very specific recommendations, have those reviewed by the Planning and Transportation Commission, the City Council, the various boards and commissions that have an interest in this, as well as the community and the various stakeholders. This way we're not creating a whole zoning code with a lot of recommendations based on many different land uses at the last minute, so that we can take input all along the process. So the first set of recommendations are really coming out of the industrial zone. Staff is scheduled to have a draft of the industrial zone recommendations to the Planning Commission this fall, and to the City Council the first part of December, where they will have a specific opportunity to react and respond to very specific proposals for how the industrial districts would be shaped.
So it sounds like residents will still have a great number of opportunities to still be involved and have input.
Absolutely. We, through community workshops, through specific focus groups, through public hearings, there's many avenues for citizens to get involved. If at any point a citizen would like to input, feel free to email myself or the city, give us a phone call, and we will be happy to direct you in the right way to get your input heard.
Energy. It's been a major topic in California and throughout the nation. The Utilities Department of the City of Palo Alto is doing a great deal to help residents and to make sure that the power keeps running in our fair city. We're going to learn about the photovoltaic system and rebates for residents. We're at a private home at the corner of Emerson and Addison in downtown Palo Alto. And with me is Lindsay Joy, and she's going to tell us something about the Solar Homes Tour. Lindsay, what's the tour all about?
Well, on Saturday, October 26th, from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, Palo Alto Utilities is sponsoring a Solar Homes Tour to educate the community about the benefits of using sun to heat water and make electricity.
Tell me about the tour first. So is it guided? Do I get there by myself? Is there a map?
Yes, when you register for the tour, there'll be a map, and you can walk or bike and visit as many homes as you want. We have 50 homes in Palo Alto with the systems, and 18 will be on the tour.
So I'll see the homes, talk to the owners, but is there another way that I can learn more about photovoltaics generally?
Yeah, on the tour, we will have a vendor fair where you can meet the vendors and learn a lot about the technology of using sunlight to create electricity.
Well, you mentioned sunlight now, and technology. What's a brief definition of solar energy, and what are some of the benefits?
Well, a simple way to put it is just it uses sunlight to convert into electricity with silicon crystals, and the benefits are many. They are clean and renewable resource. They don't pollute. It adds value to your home.
But I have heard that it's quite expensive. Can you speak a little bit about that upfront cost?
Right. You do have to pay for it up front. It's like paying all of your utility bills for the next 15 years all at once. So it can be expensive, but there are rebates and financing available to lower that cost significantly. It adds a lot of value. It's a good investment for our energy future.
And it's true that Palo Alto has been working on alternative energy sources for quite some time now.
Right. The utility has been promoting it with rebates and education to the community to introduce this.
And how would a resident sign up for the tour and get more information then?
Well, the tour, you just need to register by calling Marketing Services at 329-2241 or visit our website.
Palo Alto is a very energy-conscious community, and for that reason there are rebates being offered to residents through our utilities department. Brian Ward is here to tell us about some of those rebates. Brian, let's start with light bulbs. What's the simplest thing that a resident can do to cut down on energy use and get a rebate?
Screw in a light bulb, PA. This is an incandescent bulb. If you replace it with a compact fluorescent light bulb, or more commonly known as a CFL, the residents can use 75% less energy. The beauty is that they also last 7 years long.
Sounds great. And then the second item you wanted to tell us about was a programmable thermostat.
Right, PA. This is an example of a programmable thermostat. You replace your old inefficient thermostat with a brand new programmable thermostat, and you can set it and forget it, and it will save you up to 20% on your heating and cooling throughout the year.
And the third item we were going to talk about had to do with insulation. There are two types now. Would you explain the two types?
We currently have rebates for water heater or water heater blanket installations and attic insulation. The water heater blanket insulation will wrap around your regular water heater and will reduce your energy up to 10%.
And the attic insulation is really easy, I understand.
Yeah, it rolls right out. You can buy a roll, just go down to the hardware store and roll it right out.
And how would residents get more information about all these rebates?
They can contact us at the Utility Marketing Services 329-2241.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Brian.
Hi, I'm Wendy Hediger with the Palo Alto Recycling Program. Have you seen one of these in your neighborhood or in a neighborhood near you? These are the new containers the recycling program has put out for our pilot recycling and yard trimmings collection program. We're going to test for 4 things in the pilot: single stream collection, collection containers, collection vehicles, and customer satisfaction. So the first one is single stream recycling. That means the items that you put now in these 4 crates can now all go mixed together in this recycling container. Even the cardboard that you now have to put on the side can fit in the container. So that brings us to the collection container itself. These are wheeled carts, and we're using these because all of the materials can fit in there and then some. So as you can tell, maybe your items that are filling your crates every week now can go into this container and not fill it in 1 week. We do ask that you only put these out when they're full. That means that your drivers don't have to stop every week at your house, and that increases our efficiency. So that leads us on to the collection vehicles. We're trying to improve the efficiency of collection. We're going to be trying out some different vehicles through the neighborhoods, some front loaders, rear loaders, side loaders or dual loaders, and try to reduce the amount of trucks going through your neighborhood. That way we can reduce air pollution, noise pollution, and traffic in general. And the fourth part of our program, or our test program, is customer satisfaction. We'd like to know how residents like this program. We'll be sending out surveys to residents within the pilot area, but even residents that aren't in the pilot area, we'd love to hear from you. If you like this type of program, if you're not interested in this type of program, we really would like to know. I'm Wendy Hediger, reminding you to reduce, reuse, recycle, and buy recycled.
Now available for adoption at the Palo Alto Animal Shelter. Rosie is a 7-year-old spayed female cat. She's a wonderful cuddler and will spend endless hours simply relaxing next to you. Charming, easygoing, and gentle best describe our good friend Boss. He doesn't mind the company of other cats and enjoys visiting with people of all ages. Tori is a sad kitty that came to us after bouncing from one home to the next. She's a 7-year-old spayed female who is very quiet, gentle, and affectionate. Baby is a 1-year-old Chihuahua mixed neutered male. Baby is very well mannered and walks well on a leash. He would be ideal for a senior citizen or adult-only household. George is an awesome little dog who keeps getting overlooked by visitors in search of the perfect canine companion. George is highly intelligent, well-mannered, gentle, and playful. Annie is a 1-year-old spayed female pit bull who is nothing at all like you hear about on the news. Annie enjoys walks, playtime, and simply spending time with her human friends. Honey is a female domestic rat that is looking for a new home and human companion. Honey is very sweet, enjoys being held, and sitting on your shoulder. You can see all these animals and many more at the Palo Alto Animal Shelter, 3281 East Bay Shore Road in Palo Alto. We're open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Give us a call at 496-5971.
Thanks for watching CityBeat Inside Palo Alto. I'm your host, P.A. Moore. Be sure to send your comments to the address shown at the end of the credits. And while you're at it, note that we've changed our website address. We are now cityofpaloalto.org. That'll be much easier to remember. Thank you for watching.